Good morning, everybody. It's Emma Lou, obviously here today. And Emma McNeil is taking a well-deserved little break. And we're actually tag teaming. So next week, Emma's taking over and I'm having a little break. So if there are any questions that you've thought of after today's little, I was going to say rendezvous, then just obviously post them away and Emma will pick them up for next week. Now, before we go ahead with the questions of today, I have a cold, so I look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I've got freshly microbladed eyebrows. So I just wanted to mention the elephant in the room before we start talking. But soon, when you see me, this will all be gone, and I'll just be looking glorious and glowing, or that is the plan. But let's get into it. So I've got a few questions I'm going to cover, and just a disclaimer, if it is that the questions aren't answered, or you don't get the answer that you were hoping for, or there's more in-depth information that you need, just comment back or ask me, further questions, and I'm more than happy to either pick it up in another FAQ or to just private message and go back and forth with it. So don't ever feel that if you don't get the answer that you were looking for, that we won't go back in and chat about it. That's not the case at all. So question number one is there a certain order to sugaring? And I feel like there's two parts to this question. First and foremost, when we teach you to sugar, we will work on technique. So we will work, we usually start on the leg area, and with that, the technique that is required. And then as that skill set builds, we work on different hand positions, different body positions, positioning the client in different ways. And each time you are taking on a new little bit of the skill to help you in all of these areas. And everything that we learn with sugaring is multi-purpose. So a leg is the same as a back, or it's the same as maybe an arm, etc. Now, I know that wasn't the question that you necessarily asked for. However, when to sort of link it back, once you have that skill set and you understand how to sugar all of these areas, then you're also having to troubleshoot. So with sugaring, we troubleshoot with the temperature, or we're troubleshooting with the body parts or the hair. And that's the same with any combination of sugar or body parts that you need to work on. So let's say a client came in and they were booked in for a leg, but then they decided to say, can I add an underarm and a bikini onto this? You will have that knowledge to be able to go back in and go, yeah, okay, I'm just going to reorder these treatments into the most hygienic way possible. So, as you will hopefully know or potentially know, when we sugar, we reuse the same sugar in our hands continuously for the whole treatment. Sometimes we might need to add a little bit more or take a little bit away, but ultimately we've got the same sugar. So what we don't want to be doing is cross-contaminating it from areas of maybe perspiration, blood spotting, or bodily fluids. So yes, we would always teach you to work in the most hygienic way possible. So for instance, if we've got a leg, underarm, and bikini, I would do it in that exact order. The legs are very unlikely to perspire, very unlikely to have blood spots, although it's not uncommon. Then we'll move to the underarm area, and lastly the bikini, especially if you're doing Brazilians and you're working at the butt crease area, then you don't want to be using that sugar paste then and working on somebody's lip. So you can sort of see that process. If we had got an eyebrow, a lip, and an underarm, again, we would probably work on the eyebrow, the lip, and then the underarm, and not the underarm first. That's moving perspiration into areas of the face. And then, that's opening the risk of transferring bacteria and having the white spots and pustules, etc., which we don't want to see. So I hope that answers that first question. Yes, we do work in a specific order, but that order can be completely interchangeable dependent on what you are working on. It is not that every client needs to come in and have a leg, an underarm, and a bikini. It's just using your knowledge from the training to work out what is the safest option in order to work in. Okay, so my next question, I really like this one. Why do we have three pastes and not just one like other waxes? Well, most of you will know my first part of that is sugaring isn't wax, so it is different. Although there are so many similarities, we are different. So wax tends to obviously use the one pot, absolutely. And I can understand if you are thinking about transferring over and converting into sugaring, that it could seem unnecessary to maybe have to buy all of these and you just maybe want the one. So the reason that we have three pastes is the product is exactly the same. It's the same exact ingredients in each of the three tubs. The only difference is the water content. Okay. And we do this and talk about this more when we teach you to sugar. But our softest paste has more water content and our firmest paste has less. And it's this water element that, once heated, is what gives us the consistency of the paste. So for maybe warmer climates, sorry, or warmer clients as well, we tend to opt for a stronger paste that has less water in it so that the consistency can stay stronger and it can hold on to maybe a stronger hair, a hotter area, or mixed with the water in the air, that humidity isn't going to become too soft and too uncontrollable, meaning that we can deliver the results that we need. Whereas the softer paste is not only great for, I feel like I was about to sneeze. The softer paste is not only great for soft hair, it's also great if you work in a really cold climate because there is less humidity in that room. It's helping to give you more travel and give you more smoother application and you can work with it. So not, as you can see, there's always so many variables that when you are sugaring that we are trying to manage. And once you learn to sugar, we teach you these and teach you how to troubleshoot and how to work it out. Some of it can take a little while, like anything, but ultimately that's why we have the three pastes to work with our hair, to work with our environment, to work with our weather, to work with our season, and to work for our results. So, yeah, there's quite a bit that goes to it, which is, as much as it may feel quite scary to think, wow, with waxing, it's just, wax on, wax off. Sugaring may feel at the beginning that there's this whole umbrella of things to learn, but you'd be surprised how much of it makes absolute sense and just becomes common practice without even having to give it a thought. So, any of this information that I'm giving you, I don't want it to feel so informative that it feels like you'd never be able to learn it. You will just walk in one day and maybe it's a hot summer's day, you've got your aircon on, you pick up your paste and you think, no, that that's not going to do it today. And you'll just automatically go in, adapt your paste before even starting. And you know what? Sometimes, even with myself, I will start with a paste, be overconfident, apply it to the client and go, this isn't going to work. And you just carry on chatting. You go across and you maybe pick up a spatula, get a little bit of new paste, either warmer or cooler or stronger and softer, and you just adapt and continue your treatment, and the client is none the wiser. So it's not a huge issue or concern if you've maybe started out with something and it's not maybe quite working for you. It's just a simple tweak, the same as picking up a spatula or a wax strip. It's just picking up maybe a little bit more sugar. And like I say, as you get more comfortable with it, this will just become second nature. Do you have to offer all services? Do you have to learn the whole body in training in just one area? Okay. So I feel like I actually touched on this on the first question. So I think as long as I've understood this right, this is somebody who hasn't trained, is thinking about training in sugar, but wanting to just pick one area, I presume, like, let's say brows. Um, so the answer to that question is dependent on if you've come from a waxing background or you're completely new to the industry. Both courses that we offer, or actually all three courses, we do two in person and one online. But all three of the courses that we offer does teach you the entire knowledge of sugaring. So that is the online theory, that is your hands-on practical or your self-evaluation and working from home. And it gives you all the background knowledge, the anatomy, understanding of sugar. It gives you everything that you need. And there's a reason why we do this. Um, by having the knowledge of all, you can 100% go and do your course, learn everything that you need to know about sugar, but then you can absolutely go and specialize in just that one thing. A lot of sugarers will focus in on intimate health and care. So maybe focus just in on brows. Brows is a massive industry. So if you want to just team brow sugaring with brow lamination and hybrid and henna and tint, that's absolutely doable. But you need that baseline level of the sugaring knowledge first and foremost. And it's really beneficial if you then got a client that just says, her underarms haven't been done for ages and you've got an extra little bit of time, you could automatically just up your sale of the day and just be able to go in and sugar that area and automatically just increasing your profit. So yes, the short answer is you do have to learn the entire course. Now, whether you are doing the accelerated, the essentials, or the online, this covers the main areas of the body. It does not cover the intimate. Sorry, it does not cover intimate. So you could just stop there and just do regular full body sugaring, or you could then decide to go on and do intimate sugaring at a later date. We do normally say trying to give it maybe 3 months of active sugaring before you move into the intimate area, just because of the skills that you will learn. It helps you to get comfortable with your paste selection, molding, working with bodies and angles and heat and all of these things that you come into contact with on a day-to-day basis with sugaring. It just gives you that level to then elevate it on. So yes, I don't know if that's the answer that you're looking for, but you definitely do learn everything first, but you will be thankful that you did. And yeah, so I feel like there are three great questions. If anybody has any other questions, either on the back of what I've just answered or just completely new questions, maybe you're in the treatment room and you are, there's something that happens when you're in there and you think, oh, this does my head and I don't know why or I don't know how to get out of it, ask away. If a client's maybe asked you something, maybe it's about home care or their skin, ask away. Is it that your paste, you can't seem to travel too far, or it could be application, it could be to do with the paste, it could be to do with your body positioning, anything at all, ask away. And this is where me and Emma will come in and just completely try and unravel any other questions, any other stresses that you are going through, and just, help you with your day-to-day sugaring life. But for now, I'm going to take my red nose and go and get some, you know, hydration. See you soon, guys.